Hi, and welcome to my messy kitchen. As you can see, today's background is a little bit different, the format is a little bit different, and that's because today we are going to be doing something that's a little different. And the reason to that is because my stove isn't working, as you can probably tell from the title of this video. So I had been cooking dinner one evening, as per usual, on my electric stove when the circuit breaker tripped. And when I turned the breaker back on, my stove just decided to stop working. And then it continued to not work after that. And so I was at a loss as to how I was supposed to eat, as to how I was supposed to cook breakfast and lunch and dinner, because to be honest, my stove is my life. I know that there's a lot of people out there who have come up with tons of recipes, ideas on what to cook, how to cook without a stove, but honestly, I've just never tried any of those things because I've never felt the need to. Now that it's come to this, I feel that we are gonna have to attempt to do at least 3 of those things. And yeah, that's because I am gonna come up with 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had just been eating sandwiches all this time and cold rice. I do have my rice cooker, so that's, you know, one of the blessings that I still have. I know that there's a lot of things that you can cook with a rice cooker, but honestly, I've never done any of those things. And yeah, I guess today we are gonna have to attempt to make something else on the rice cooker other than rice or quinoa, and I'm a bit nervous, maybe a lot nervous. Yeah, so yeah, let's just get started, shall we? So for breakfast, I'm just gonna be starting off easy by making a simple oatmeal smoothie. This is a recipe that I got from Well Plated by Erin. You can find it at wellplated.com. The recipe calls for oats, frozen banana, which I don't have, but she says I can also just use fresh, so I'm using fresh. Peanut butter, she uses creamy, but I'm using crunchy because I like crunchy. Almond milk, but I used oat milk in place of it. Maple syrup, which I substitute with agave syrup, and also some cinnamon as well as vanilla extract, neither of which I own, so I obviously didn't use any. Blend everything together and voila, oatmeal smoothie. Okay, so I have the smoothie with me right here, the banana oat peanut butter smoothie, and we are gonna try this out together. Let's do a taste test. Good. It's still very coarse, so you do still have to bite into a peanut and chew the oats. It's not a smooth smoothie, let's just say that. Maybe you can make it smoother, I don't know, but I personally like it just a little coarse. To me, this is a little too sweet. Maybe I should put, I mean, I didn't even put a lot of agave syrup there. I just put in just a little teeny tiny bit, but I don't know, maybe I can do without it. There's currently an ant infestation in my kitchen. I don't want to kill them because they're not bothering me per se, like they're not in my food. You know, it's not like if I leave a pizza there, the ants would come all over it, because they don't. So since they don't personally bother me, I just leave them be, you know? I mean, it's 2020, everything bad going on with the world. I'm gonna let the ants live. I just hope they're not in here, because then it wouldn't be vegan. And poor ants. For lunch, I'm going to be making a seaweed rice roll. First, I'm putting equal parts rice and water into the pot. I'm using half a cup. And while the rice is cooking, we prep the yuba. I break them into small chunks and let them sit in cold water to soften. Kalau Ami nanti gimana? Nanti mama pernah nggak suka nggak nanti? Gimana ada, cuma nggak ada ya. I continue to chop spring onions until I deem it enough, and enough changes every day depending on my mood. Then I squeeze the water out of the yuba and transfer them into another container. What usually comes after is I'd boil the yuba, but since my stove seems to have some vendetta against me, I'm just gonna boil some water using the kettle, and I'll pour the hot water on the yuba afterwards. As the yuba quote-unquote cooks, I break apart the nori into teeny tiny pieces. Set that aside, and then I strain the yuba. How many times have I said yuba? Now I make the dressing. A tablespoon of sesame oil, a pinch of garlic powder and salt, sweet soy sauce, kikkoman soy sauce, and sesame seeds. I rinse the yuba once more under cold water before dumping them into the dressing. Then I add the spring onions and seaweed into the mix as well. Yuba salad is done. It's time to make the rice roll. I take out a sheet of seaweed, pack the now cooled rice on top, add some of the yuba salad in the middle, and roll. And we have lunch. Okay, so here with me I have my lunch. This is my rice roll and this is the yuba salad. The rice roll also has the yuba salad filling. I've never actually tried putting yuba salad inside rice rolls. This is just something that I'm experimenting with because I usually put egg mayo or like a mock meat teriyaki. Let's try the yuba salad first. I've made this so many times. I know it's good. So, okay. Now let's try the rice roll. I don't remember if I added salt to the rice or not. I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. It's really good. Let me try to describe it. It's oniony, garlicky, it's sesame. I really love sesame oil. I think it just adds a whole lot of flavor into whatever it is you're cooking. It's also very fishy, maybe because of the seaweed. Most likely because of the seaweed. Half a cup of rice makes 2 servings. So I do have another rice roll in the kitchen, but now I'm eating the yuba salad again. The texture of the yuba is very soft, but also very chewy. So yeah, my overall thought, yuba salad on its own, really great. Yuba salad inside a rice roll, also pretty good. I mean, I think I still prefer egg mayo or mock meat teriyaki inside my onigiri or rice rolls, but I think it works. Okay, so for dinner, I'm gonna be taking it a step further and try to make some vegetable frittata in the rice cooker. But before I do that, here I'm just gonna be making some quinoa to complement the frittata on the side. I added half a cup of quinoa into the pot and now I'm adding a cup of water. And after stirring them together, I'm gonna be adding about a teaspoon-ish of vegetable bouillon powder. I know that quinoa can be quite tricky and off-putting for first-timers because I know that the smell that comes out when it's cooked plain is just, it's terribly unpleasant to say the least. I know, I've been there, done that. But when you make it right, it's actually really delicious. All you need to do is just use stock instead of plain water. Oh, and don't forget to add salt and pepper into the pot as well. When I'm not so lazy and when my stove actually works, I would usually make my own stock out of boiled onions and potatoes and carrots and herbs and whatever vegetables I happen to have. But it's a dark day, my stove is being uncooperative, and frankly, I'm too lazy, so we're just gonna have to go with bouillon. And then chuck the mix into the rice cooker and let it cook until the switch flips, around 20 minutes. And while I wait for the quinoa to cook, here I'm just taking out the peas and kale that I'll be using for the frittata from the freezer to let them thaw on the countertop, and then I peel the potatoes. Behold, a speeded up footage of me peeling potatoes and occasionally spacing out. Here, I'm just cutting up the potatoes into little tiny pieces because I wasn't sure if the rice cooker would be able to cook big chunks in 20 minutes. Of course, at this time, I also had no idea of the mayhem that's about to come. Then I got a little tired, so here's me taking a little butter cookie break. 20 minutes later and the quinoa is done. It's fluffy and fragrant and perfect every time. Now I'm just transferring them into a bowl because I need to reuse the rice cooker for the frittata. I'm loosely using a recipe from southernhomeexpress.com and they call it a rice cooker frittata. It looked super appetizing in their photos and it seemed really easy, and since I've never done anything remotely like this before, I thought it would be a good one to try. They say to spray the pot with a non-stick cooking spray, but I don't have that, so I just douse a paper towel in regular sunflower oil and rub that all over the pot. Then they tell me to whisk the egg, so I do. I initially wanted to just use one egg, but after whisking, I noticed that it's way too little, so I'm adding one more. Afterwards, I'm supposed to fold the vegetables into the eggs, and so here I'm dumping a handful of peas and 3 chunks of kale. Southern Home Express used frozen, so I did too. Then I add the cut up potatoes. Then the recipe says to sprinkle cheese on top, but the only cheese I have is brie, which is unsprinkleable, so here I'm just trying to be enterprising by cutting up chunks of brie to be scattered on top. Finally, I add salt, pepper, and garlic powder, mix everything together, and then I'm supposed to just leave it in the rice cooker to cook, and hopefully end up with a frittata. I don't even know if this looks promising or not, but I'm just gonna put this into... Guys, I think it's a fail. The switch flipped like twice or 3 times, and I tried switching it back to cook. And I don't know, I guess it just stopped cooking? I don't even know. Can you see? Like, it got burnt like at the bottom, but it's not cooking the top. Oh my gosh. I am legitimately panicking right now. Oh my goodness, what do I do? What do I do with this concoction? So this took like half an hour, but it looks promising, you guys. At least the eggs are cooked, so that's a relief. So here for dinner we have the quinoa with what was supposed to be vegetable frittata. But now it just sort of looks like mixed rice. I mean mixed quinoa, sorry. I'm exhausted. It's been a trial, this frittata thing. Let's just give it a taste. I'm super hungry. Oh, the quinoa is way too salty. I think I added too much salt when I made the quinoa. I mean, the egg is cooked. That's nice. I can definitely taste the brie. This was a challenge to make. I mean, it's good. I don't think you can go wrong with brie and potatoes and eggs and garlic, and kale. Did I say kale? I'm so exhausted. I think the quinoa took about 20 to 30 minutes to cook. The frittata, oh god. The recipe said that it would take 15 to 20 minutes, otherwise your eggs would be rubbery. But after like 30 minutes, by that point, I didn't care if my eggs were rubbery. I just wanted it to at least be cooked. I mean, it's definitely not rubbery, so that's great, but by the time I got the mixture to cook, the bottom was already really burned, and so when I tried lifting it off the pot, it just broke apart. So for a person who has never cooked anything in the rice cooker other than rice and quinoa, this is actually pretty impressive. I mean, I'm just relieved that I don't have to eat sandwiches or get pizza takeaways or pizza deliveries, because it turns out that I can make eggs and kale and potatoes and peas. Oh yeah, I forgot that there were peas here in the rice cooker, even though I can't exactly make a frittata. So I guess that is all for today's video. I hope you had fun watching me experiment. I mean, it's good, so I can't stop eating. Also, I'm super hungry. The whole frittata, did I mention how long it had taken me to make the frittata? I think in total it took me about 45 minutes plus the quinoa, because I don't have 2 rice cookers. It took me about like an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, I'm just super glad that I can, you know, finally make something at home without my stove. So I can consider this a success. Comment below if you've ever cooked something other than rice in the rice cooker, and also if you've ever cooked with any other strange tool. I know a friend who used an iron once to make toast or something, or sandwich, I don't remember, but let's just hope I won't have to get to that point in life. I'm gonna go and finish my food and watch something because I feel like I need to watch something while I eat. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm finally gonna go. Yeah, I hope you guys are all well. Bye.